Hello everyone. My name is Pankaj and I'm working as a teacher uh, for computer applications. Right now working in AKGEC Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Today I'll take this topic, loop statement. Sometimes it looks very uh, complex for the people who are learning first time the programming, and I would go with the flow the way a novice member should understand the loop, right? And then we will have some use cases which are very, uh, you can say, used a lot many times in the programming world. And this is the concept which is used everywhere in every programming language you talk about. So let's go ahead with this. So types of loop. So before understanding types of loop, it is better to understand when it is used, right? And what's the purpose of using the loop? So it executes a code block of a program several times. So you want to do uh, one thing in programming in a program which you are writing multiple times, then you use this concept loop, right? And it does it for multiple times till the time the condition is met. So means there would be one condition which will be terminating this loop, right? There are several types of loops which are used. So I'm talking about here the C programming. So in C programming there are for loop, while loop, and the do while loop. So we'll go one by one to all these loops. While loop. So the syntax here for the while loop is this one, and here is the flow chart, right? So we'll go one by one. Syntax. For everything in the programming, this is the concept which needs to be understood very thoroughly, that what is the syntax, how the code flow works, right? In case of while loop, the first thing which is done is the initialization, the variable which you want to use within the loop. So you use that variable within the loop. So you have to initialize this first, right? So the step 1 is the initialization. Now the next thing is the condition. Maybe it can be a comparison of two numbers, like if A is 5 and B is 6. So if B is greater than A, it's a true statement, right? So your loop condition will work till the time this condition meets, right? You can change these values within the loop, as well as just for one value you can also, but that doesn't solve the purpose. You have to iterate. So let's suppose the condition is if A is greater than 10. If A is greater than 10 and you do this for multiple times, and the value of A is, let's suppose currently is 5, you start with 5. So 5 till 10 times you want to execute this body. Once this, and at the same time you increment the loop counter, means the value which you are using inside the loop, you are incrementing that counter. Once that counter is reaching beyond 10, value 10, as the end condition is 10, then the loop exits and the statement outside of this body executed. So this flow diagram depicts everything which I talk. So initialization, right? Then a condition. Here the condition was A is less than 10 and we have started from 5. So the condition is meeting, of course, true. This body of the loop gets executed and the increment on this variable is happening. Now, when it is happening, let's suppose you have written a plus plus. So this is increment, right? Increment decrement operator. Within the body of the loop, this value is incremented. So initially it was 5. Now it is 6. 6 is less than 10. Again, it is condition is true. So it is happening like this. The moment the condition is false, the moment this condition is false, it exits from this and go outside, right? So the condition is false. Now the condition is false and the statements outside of this loop body get started executing. So this is the loop. So for while, initialization is done first, then condition, right? And then the body of the loop. If the condition is meeting, this is executing that much times till the time the condition is true. If the condition is false, the execution outside of the body gets executed. Now, these are the same steps which I just explained in the last, example. So step 1 is initialization before the starting. Condition is evaluated. If the condition is true, I mean the condition is non-zero. So you can use relational operator there. You can use the logical operator there, to execute that condition. All of the conditions which are returning the Boolean value, true or false, you can use in the loop condition, right? Once the condition is true, then the body of the loop is executed, right? And then loop variable is updated. What does that loop variable means? The value a, which we have just, initialized. So this is third step. Fourth step is again, you have changed the loop value. Now you are evaluating again. If the condition is true, the loop body is executed. If the condition is and continues, and if the condition is false, then the loop terminates. So, and statement X outside of the loop is executed. So that's the end of, the execution of a while loop. Now it's time to understand through an example, a code example. And the problem statement here is we have to write a program to display first 5 natural numbers, right? So what are first 5 natural numbers? You can see as an output of this program is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How we are doing it? We have initialized it from the value 1. We know that to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we have to start from somewhere. So from where we are starting? We are starting from the initial value. So this is the initial value, right? Initialization. Now the condition. We have to print till 5 natural numbers. So 1 is less than 5, less than or equal to 5. Absolutely correct. It will print 1 first time. Then increment this value of I. Then first this 1 becomes 2, right? Now again the evaluation will done. 2 is less than or equal to 5. This is again a correct statement. It will enter again into the loop. It will print 2, correct? So the next time, so first execution, this was the value. First execution, this was the value. In the second round, second execution, this is the value, 2 is the value. In third execution, again, 2 value will be incremented to 3, 3 is less than or equal to 5, and this continues till the time when after this increment, the value of I becomes 6. Now 6 is not less than or equal to 5. That means the condition is not true. So the loop body will not get executed and it will go outside of the loop and do whatever you want to do outside of this loop. Means the iteration which you do not want, and then after that the code execution will flow, right? So that's the output of this program. Now for loop, again for loop, to make understanding clear on the for loop, it's again the same thing. You are doing some code block to get executed in iteration. So the overall flow chart will remain same. It's just that the way of doing in for loop, the statement we write in the for loop is different. Of course, it starts from a keyword for, that starts from a keyword while, right? Condition is checked. Now the way condition, I'll come to that, but that's the major difference between while and for loop, that the syntax is different and the problem they are solving is different. So let's suppose you have an example where you don't know at which situation you want to continue the loop, means the precondition of closing the loop is not known. Then you will go with while. And let's suppose you know that the fixed iteration you need to execute, then you will use for loop, right? The almost means the same flow chart will have, but now you can see the structure. Here the initialization, in the while loop the initialization was outside of the loop, but here initialization within this bracket only. So that's the difference. Keyword is for initialization. The middle thing is condition, which is again a combination of the Boolean values or the relational operator, you can use that there, and the updation of the variable, loop variable which you are using. And once this condition is meeting, then the body of the loop is executed. If this condition is not meeting, the body of the loop will not get executed. Now it starts from initialization, it checks the condition. Then if the condition is true, it executes the body of the loop. But after that, it goes to update the variable, loop variable which you are using, and check the condition again. If the condition is meeting, again it will execute. If the condition is not meeting, it will get outside of this bracket, mean the body of the loop. So that's the difference. Syntactically is different. The problem it is solving is the same iterative problems, but here the preconditions, you know how many iterations you have to execute, you know. So all this is happening in for loop. Here are certain steps which you can see on this presentation, that there are again in while loop there were few steps, in this loop also there are few steps. Initialization is done, there also we were doing the initialization was done only once in the while loop also, in same here, but within the body, within the signature of the loop in the for loop, right? Condition of the for loop is evaluated. If the condition is true, I just explained it, the body of the loop is executed, then the loop variable is updated, right? Again the condition is evaluated and it continues till the time the condition, when the value was updated, again the condition is evaluated. If the condition is true, the continuation of the iteration is flowing, but till the time we reach to the situation where the next the condition is false, then the loop terminates and get exited. So these are the steps involved in for loop. Now let's understand it with the help of an example, code example. So again the same example, almost same. We are printing number, first 10 natural numbers, correct? We'll take the same example. Again the iteration is done through for loop also, but here the initialization which we were doing earlier in while, we are doing within the loop only. So I we have declared, but we have initialized here, and we are checking the condition. So initially the value of I will start from this initialization 1 is less than equal to 10, right? For first iteration 1 is less than equal to 10. Yes, of course it is true. So it is printing 1 for first iteration. Then if this loop variable, this is loop variable, it gets updated. So 1 will become, through this increment operator, 1 will become 2, right? 1 will become 2. Now 2 is less than equal to 10, correct? This is correct, right? So the condition will again, correct, means returning true. So print, this will print next time with this value. I value is 2 since it was updated. So for next iteration, the value is 2. So 1, 2. It continues till the time the value of I is less than or equal to 10. As at the moment the value of I is less than or equal to 10, then the 10 is printed and the value gets updated to 11. Once the value updated to 11 and it is checked with this 10, now this is incorrect. This is not 11 is not less than equal to 10, false. And as I mentioned on these steps, if the condition is not meeting, it will exit from the loop, means from this curly braces, and do rest of the things of the program. So that's how the for loop works, correct? Now do while loop, it is a special type of loop, you can say. It is doing same thing. Loop are doing same thing, doing the executing the program continuously, iteratively, right, till the time the condition is meeting. But here one catch is with this loop is it is doing the iteration of the program which you want to execute iteratively, but it does it at least once. Means for while loop or for loop, your condition can be false at the very first iteration, but here at least one time the body of the loop, means the thing which you have written within the do and the curly braces will be executed and the condition will be checked at the end, right? So if you want to execute any program at least for once, so this is the best loop for you to to take into the consideration. Syntax, again, initialization, same with like while. So in terms of initialization, for loop is the only exception here which is taking care of the initialization within the loop only. But in case of do while and the while, initialization is done above the body of the loop, and then the keyword do. So we have three keywords, while, for, and this is do, right? Let's go ahead. Body of the loop, and this is the condition. So your program will be executed at least one, and then the condition will be evaluated. If the condition is false, then it will exit from this body of the loop and this statement gets executed. Same steps. So every steps are there. Now step 1, initialization. I just mentioned that body of the loop is executed if the condition. Now we have to remember condition will be checked at the end, right? Body of the loop is executed, so one time it will be at least executed. Loop variable is updated. Now the condition is evaluated. If it is true, then again the loop condition will be executed. If the condition is false, it will exit from the loop, and that's how the the do while loop works, right? Same program, 10 natural numbers. We are going to understand it with the help of the do while loop. So here we have initialization. Now we are printing, incrementing. When we increment, after first iteration, the value will be, start value will be 1. After increment, 1 plus plus means it will be 2. It will check the condition, 2 is less than equal to 10. Again, the loop body will be executed. It will print 2 for the next iteration and so on. Once the condition, it will reach to 11. I is the value of the I is 10 and the increment is done 11. 11 is less than equal to 10. It is false. It will exit from the body of the loop, right? And the output will be same. the important thing here is the problem that every loop is solving. If you do not know the condition in advance, how long the iteration will take. So it is better to go with the while loop and check within the program that at which time you want to exit. For exiting, there is a keyword called break. We will understand it, in the next slide. But these are the few examples of we have taken the same examples, but there are few examples where you can differentiate these loops based on their understanding as well as the uses, right? Again, one more program. We are printing the sum of all numbers, so we have to enter the number. We are taking input from the user, and then there is one variable where we are keeping. So the starting point of the sum, where the initialization is, it has the value 0. So initially it is sum equal to 0, because the start value of this is 0 plus, and the for first iteration the value starts from 1. So sum is equal to 1 for the first iteration. Once the loop gets executed for second, because after this the I will get updated. Remember, for loop, after the execution of the loop body, the loop variable gets updated. So the value of 1 becomes 2. 2 is less than the value which is entered. Maybe the user has entered 1, 2, 3, 4. The value of this 2 is less than this 1, 2, 3, 4. So again it is executing, right? And that's how it is working. In the let's suppose you have 4, the sum from 1 to 4 is 10, means if you sum it is equal to 10. How it is happening? Through this logic. Initially it was 0, 0 plus 1, I explained 1. For next iteration its value is 1, but the value of I gets incremented, it is 2. So it is 2 plus, means sum was 1 and the next value of I is 2, 1 plus 2, 3, right? Now 3 is stored into sum, and this is how it is happening till the time it is calculating till 10, right? Till the time it is calculating the number users has inputted, means 4, 5, 6. So it will execute it till the time your loop initialization is less than that number, less than or equal to that number. Break statement, I told that sometimes you do not have predefined conditions, as in your last example. If I show you here, you have the fixed number of iterations which you can see, because you are taking input from the user that sum of all numbers up to a given number, means user may have input 4. So you have to sum 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. If user has inputted 6, so you have to 1 plus 2 plus 3, 4 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. So you have the end condition with you. This n is with you. So you are using for loop, but sometimes it is not known, right? You are continuously doing, and in between you are, in between you are checking that whether you reach to this point or not. So, and you want to break the condition out of this, then you want to break out from the loop. There you use the break statement, right? It is used to terminate the execution of the loop, and it transfers the control to the first statement after loop, right? It means the moment you encounter break within the loop body means for whatever you have written, this curly braces is the loop body. So within this loop body, if you encounter this break and the condition for this breaking condition is meeting, you will be exited from this loop body, means from this curly braces, end curly braces. So that's the working of the break. So you can see it as an example. here you are printing numbers from the intent was to print the number from 1 to 10, but if the moment you encounter 5, you just think that I do not want to print, I have enough numbers, 4 numbers to print. So till 5 it will work fine, means till 4 it is work fine, but at the moment the value of the I becomes 5, it will break, and once it is break, after that no iteration will happen. So the output of this program will be 1, 2, 3 and 4, because at 5 you have exited. So this is the beauty of the break statement, and the opposite of this is the continue statement, where you do not want things which are happening within your loop body, means within the curly braces of the loop, what is happening, you do not want that, or the few steps which are happening within this body, you do not want that to get executed for a particular condition. So you use this continue statement, though you want that iteration to get happen for the end condition, till the end condition met, but still for some condition you do not want to perform those execution steps. So there you use the continue statement. So here, with the help of this example, we can again understand the continue. So here, what is happening? Again, we intent was to print from 1 to 10, but again at the same time we have decided that if the number is 5, don't print 5. Don't print 5. Rest other till 10 we have to print. So the output of this program will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Till 5. For 5 it will not print. Means 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This program will not print 5. Since here you just mentioned that if the value of the I is 5, just continue. Don't do anything which you are doing in the loop body. Right? So that's the example of continue statement. And these are the, some groundbreaking examples of break statement and the continue statements. So it can be used inside the loop and switch statement. So there is one more concept in C, that is switch. So there also this break statement used, but we do not want to jump into that. Just understanding from the perspective from the loop. So if in the loop body, if it is used for some condition, it will exit you from the iteration, and it can be only used inside the loop, not with the switch. So this is the difference. It terminates the execution of the loop statement, as I just mentioned. It stops the current execution workflow, but the iteration, is continuing, and it is primarily used as an exit statement because you are exiting from the loop, and this is help to jump the iteration, right? So these are the examples. Then in the loop, in the for loop, there is one more beauty of the for loop is you can have multiple initializers within one loop only. So earlier we have taken the example, only one variable was there, I, and we are incrementing, decrementing that variable. But the beauty of this for loop is that you can have multiple initializers and multiple update variable statements after this semicolon, right? So it will print both I and j, and then update both I value start from 1, j value start from 5. It is decrementing j and it is incrementing I and checking the condition. So once after first iteration, the value of I becomes 2 and the value of j becomes 4. It is again check the condition. If 2 is less than equal to 4, this is the right condition. It will print both value 2 and 4. So this is how for first iteration, these are the value as I just mentioned. In the second iteration, this will be the value. In third iteration, this will be the value, and after that the loop will get exited because this condition will not meet, right? There is one more concept in loops, that is nested loops. So these are covered with respect to the loop, and loop is ended here for C. Thank you so much.